Alright, hope you guys are all doing good today. I'm back for another shave. I'm going to do kind of similar thing from my last video. So I've already got SV's Tundra Artica soap loaded up. I'm going to use the Plisson or the Harrods vintage Plexi again. And so last time I think I just didn't load up enough soap, and I also had a lot more beard. So I think this is 4 days growth. So I think using this brush with how big it is, I should have an easier and more enjoyable experience face lathering. And instead of using the carbon today, I'm probably just going to be using the Colibri. Okay, so I got to use the Homelike hummingbird razor. Was that last year? Or no, I think it was 2020. And I really enjoyed that razor, and so there was one available on the BST for a really good price, and so I snagged the solid bar. The one I'll be using is the 1.30 blade gap, and the other one that came with my purchase was the 1.5 blade gap. So that one's also a closed comb. But I got one shave with it in over the weekend. And it worked just as good as I remember. Yeah, this thing's just, it's a big brush. And like I said, with it not having a lot of density, and with such a big loft, I mean, you can just see it. It's not a real backboney brush. So, and the other thing too, you guys can see this blue band. PAA sells kind of like, I forget what they call them or brand them, but it's kind of like the same thing as putting like an elastic, hair scrunchie around the base of the knot just to tighten it up a little bit. I don't think, this rubber band doesn't really do all that much. So, but yeah, like I said, I wanted to use this brush to see if I could just get a little bit of a better lather. I'm really liking this Tundra Artica. Just something about the scent that I'm really enjoying. But very likely the next handful of videos are probably going to be more a mixture of a few different brushes, but I'm really wanting to mix up the software. Probably see me use PAA Copali, Ethos, Tonka Bean. There was a good handful of SV soaps I wanted to use. Okay, this is looking good. Let me just get this last kind of coat. Yeah, I think it's looking good. So I've been using these Gillette London Bridge from China a lot during the pandemic. This was the first one I ordered from China. And I always just tell everyone China because there are these previous versions, which I guess are more vintage, which are London Bridge, but they're Wilkinson sword. So this is the older English-made Wilkinson sword versus there's a few different packaging. So like these are 10 packs. Now here like this one, see this one's not as wide. So these were the newer ones that were coming in a different one. So I'm pretty sure it's the same blade, but like I said, it's not a Gillette if you're getting these older ones. These are the Wilkinson swords. So that's what I have loaded up in the Colibri. I have the same blade from the first use. It's, I'm sorry, from the last shave, so this is the second use. Gillette London Bridge, made in China. And again, this is the Colibri stainless steel. This is the one that's made in Russia by Homelike razor. Now this has got a good it clamps on the blade really good, so there's no blade chatter. This 1.3 blade gap is very efficient, does not feel too harsh on the skin. You know, the weight overall of this razor, it's not too heavy in my opinion. I'm not really one to want a really hefty razor. Yeah, I knew I felt that. I didn't really have any pre-shave. This is like an evening 8 o'clock shave. So I'm getting this in just for you guys. I've got just a small handful of finished pots to show you guys if you guys want to see kind of some of the newer stuff that I've been working on. So the only thing that I don't like about this razor is it's got quite a bit of blade tabs exposed. That's kind of my only thing that I'm not in love with the carbon is I don't know. It doesn't happen often. It's just I'm sometimes prone to, what do you call it? Nicking my ear with that blade tab. Okay, so I'm gonna go one more across the grain, just a little bit lower, and then I'll do a north to south pass. I may not be able to, or I may not need to use this razor for the second pass, so I'll kind of show you guys. What else I have. All right, so let's just get as low as we can on this. Okay, so let's just do this part just against the grain. Yeah, you can feel the blade, and like I said, I think part of this is with this weight. It's not, you know, as heavy as an anchor, but it's definitely not a light razor. Okay, so if you guys haven't seen this, that's the 1.3 gap. Good knurling, good weight, so really nice razor. You know, like I said, it's not like I'm a carbon, fan because of the price or for the looks. The shave quality for me is really the reason why I love using those so much. But this, and for instance, this isn't the handle that you get, but the Razorock aluminum Lupo. This is a killer design. So this is the one I wanted to use. So I'm actually going to just use the same blade. These Gillette London Bridge razors seem to really work well. This blade works well on this razor. There's a lot of Razorock razors, double-edged safety razors that I used early on, and a lot of them I really liked. But some of them I didn't find that they accepted like all of the blades that I really liked. So I'm a big fan of Kai razors, Kai blades. Kai blades didn't necessarily work the best. Sorry. Kai blades didn't really work the best in every single Razorock razor. I don't necessarily dislike them in this Lupo, but I've just found that these follow-up passes, this Gillette London Bridge just seems to work really good. So, all right, let's just get one more pass and then we'll do our north to south. Let me just rinse my face, add this last bit of water, and I'll show you guys a few pots. So, as much as I love this brush, it's just not the most functional for using it all the time. So, it's not one that's probably going to get used on the channel all that often. But this one I'm going to keep. It's special enough that like I said in the previous video, the handle alone is really cool just because it's so ergonomic. But yeah, it's just been a really neat year to, just the last 2 years, just how many new brushes I've been able to really find and enjoy. So that same second use, Gillette London Bridge in the aluminum Razorock Lupo, and just an easy north to south pass. This for the most part is with the grain for me. A true with the grain is a little more diagonal like this. So a north to south is slightly across the grain. But sorry about the blood. Oh, that's what it was. So the other shave soaps that I forgot to mention were new ones that I just got. So the Bear Stearns Man shave soap samples are now available. And I picked up the Mirawood or Miriwood. Mirawood. And that one's got a really interesting blackberry kind of jam type side to it. So I'm really looking forward to this California weather really cooling down, because on those damp, wet and dark days, if we do get, hopefully some rain, some cooler weather, I really want to use the Ethos, what was it, Dragon's Beard again? Leviathan from Bear Stearns Man, coffee and leather, and I can't remember, there was some other one. So this is a really nice cleanup pass for me. Again, my style is kind of about trying to use a very efficient first pass so that if my skin does take any damage, as if, you know, like this, it's more likely to be a nick versus overdoing it and doing like a 3-pass shave and just risking a razor burn and just my skin being kind of charred. So yeah, it feels good. Alright, I've got a little bit of kokum butter, and then once I finish chatting about the pots, I'll throw on the aftershave. This is the new style. They have the embossed one. So another thing. So James Smith commented on like an old video, I think, asking about some of these shave soap jars. So I bought I brought a small variety of the different SV soap jars that I have. Some of them are ceramic ones that, you know, are made by artisans, and then some of them are like the various styles that SV has come out with. So okay, so I'll throw on the aftershave in a second. Okay, so first thing I'm going to show you guys is this is what we call a test tile. So there's 2 different types of clay that these tiles are made of, and then they show 2 different glazes, and then one side shows a combination of the 2 different glazes layered back and forth over one another. So I've got this stoneware tile. Okay, so this is a darker, sandier clay, and then this is a porcelain tile. So I have this and this. Okay, so this is a certain glaze. It's like a matte satin white glaze, and then I have this clear glaze that has a mixture of what's called peacock green and dark teal blue, and then I spray them back and forth over each other, and then it creates a more satin-like finish. So I don't know if it's going to pick up, but see, this is a smooth glaze, but when it's layered back and forth with this white, it creates a slightly pebbled hard surface. It's really nice. Okay, so just a little bit of texture. There you go, you can kind of see it. So those are 2 test tiles, and then this is on an actual bowl using that same combination. So this is on a white or a grayish stoneware, and on the outside it got, the last layer was a little bit more white glaze. So the next time I do this, the last thing I want to apply is the gloss glaze with the pigment. So that's what this looks like. It's a mixture of the 2. So you'll see somewhere the next ones that I might show on the channel, there's going to be a dark teal color by itself and then the peacock green. So it'll look similar, it's just it won't have the 2 colors combined. So this has been an interesting kind of glaze combo. So this is a glaze called Peach Black Temeko. It's an iron glaze, and then that's not what it looks like normally. It has a little bit of like a red, what we call slip clay. It's from someone's backyard, and what they do is they take the dirt out, screen it so that it's doesn't have like leaves or any, you know, trash or anything, and then they add water so it becomes a liquid slip glaze. And so I mixed it with this glaze, which starts to give it this kind of silverish crystal to it. And it's a cool finish. So I've been working on this and just trying to figure out the right proportions between the 2, and I'm starting to get it dialed in. So the other thing that makes this kind of go this amber or this yellow is this white glaze that you saw earlier. Here, this is the one. This white glaze was sprayed on top of this, and then what it does is it breaks up the underlying glaze and makes it go a little bit more amberish yellow and starts to give these little crystals, which are called tea dust crystals or pyroxene crystals. That just means it's a concentration of calcium, magnesium, and iron. So, oh, and then I got one more. So this one is a larger porcelain vase, and this thing is thin enough that if you hold it up to the light, you can see your fingers through. So, yeah, kind of hard to show it here, but anyway, when porcelain's thin, it allows light through, so it has translucency. So this is a clear glaze where this top half looks a little bit maybe more blue. It's because this glaze is a little bit thicker. So this is the same glaze. It's a clear glaze. It's just when it's thinner, it looks a little bit more clear, lightish blue, and then as it goes thicker, it has more of that bluish hint. All of these are, it's called a khaki glaze or tomato iron red. And so when it gets really thick, it's got this more tomato red or khaki. So where it's thin, it goes a little bit more of that amberish, thinned out iron. So I think this one's kind of cool. And then was trying to use these things called underglaze pencils, and that's basically where you have like a raw oxide like chrome for blue, cobalt for blue, chrome for green, black can be a mixture, and so it's in a pencil form so that you can kind of try to write. So that's a Z Hould, and then porcelain 2022. So they're pretty difficult to use. It's not as easy as using a pencil. They don't really adhere as easily. So yeah, kind of working on a lot of different colors. You know, I've been doing this now since 2000, and was it 4 or 2005? So yeah, 16, 17 years. So all of the stuff in the background that you guys get to see up on the walls is just related to my different ceramics stuff. All right, I feel like I didn't really mix that. I don't know why I have such luck lately on, I don't know, that just didn't seem like it was well mixed. So that was the new one. Let me just use this. So yeah, let me just show you guys a couple of these ceramic jars. Yeah, this looks well mixed. Okay. So earlier on that first one, it wasn't yellow. It just kind of looked more clear. So I don't know if I just didn't mix it, but yeah, no burn. Oh, yeah, it just absorbs really gently and easily into the skin. Fragrance is nice. If you guys, like I said, oud, arborwood, sandalwood, cashmere woods. I'm not sure which you guys prefer, but I kind of like the more old world kind of crafted paper. But anyway, okay, so real quick, this is one of the first of these alderwood bowls. Maybe I know I picked up a good handful of these, but these got such a killer top with this grain, and then these were laser cut. So this one you can't get. That was one of the first ones, but back in like 2014. This one's a rare one. I know a couple people were asking if I would sell this, but this one they did faux horn, faux tortoise, faux ivory. I must have got this back in 2016. This was like $100. It's really, really cool. I mean, it's the only thing that I don't like is that it scratches, you know, and that's not necessarily their fault, but you know, this resin's really cool. So this one's got my black dolomite in it. So I don't use this. It's killer for a photo, but I just don't use this very often. This one was like the next version of these. This was the square. They had two finishes, mahogany, and I don't remember if this is the mahogany or if this is one of the other ones. Now the thing that I don't like about the wood is you really have to use the plastic PET, and like on this one. So this has my Felce Aromatica, but you'll notice on this PET it's got this plastic coming up. So, you know, that's going to tear up your, you know, your badger brushes and stuff. So I'll have to kind of cut that and take note. But I like these because with them being flat, they work a little easier for the pictures than the round ones if you're trying to like stand them up for the photo. But these, I can't remember if they're still making them or selling them, but they've gone up in price. This is the one that the guy, James Smith, was asking about. So my friend, Gian, she was a ceramic maker. She lives pretty close to here, but she doesn't do ceramics anymore, or she's like just getting into it. I think this one was made maybe like 6 years ago when she was in South Korea. So it's got this kind of matte black kind of pebbled surface. This is the best shave soap container because the opening is about, I forget if it's over 4.5 or 5. I want to say this is probably 4.5. Now the other thing that is kind of goofy but works really well, although this is very shallow, what I used to do when I use this, and I still do, is this is where I put my bloom water. So although it's shallow, I just pour out the bloom water and then I just dab the brush while I'm face lathering to overhydrate it. So I'll probably get around to trying to make something is similar to this. Basically what I've been doing is making a shave dish. It's your loading dish, and whether it's where you put your shave soap sample or if it's where you put your what do I use it for? Oh, your bloom water. Sorry. That's kind of what I do. So these last two are made by my mentor, Tom Coleman. This is one of his old ones from the 70s. This has kind of like a metallic oil spot type glaze. Or this one's not a metallic one, but this one's got my Mirto di Sardegna. This is cool because you can just pour the bloom water off in there and load. It's got this. So this form is called a yo-yo jar. So he doesn't make a lot of these, but I did share, if you guys check out, it might have been that first video that's on this Zach Likes to Shave channel, and it would be, if you go on Red Lodge Clay, Red Lodge something, I sent a link, $120 for a new version of this. It's a porcelain white glaze with a lot of decorated colors on it. So like I said, that's an old one. This is another one. It is kind of a yo-yo jar, but this one's got a much more lower profile. It's kind of got this more UFO type feel. This is his tea dust glaze with this copper red, and the bottom again is porcelain clay with this tea dust finish. So this one's got the flying mango. So I know there's kind of a lot of stuff to fit in, but like I said, since I haven't been doing videos a lot, I know some of you guys, you know, want to hear about some of the ceramics, and that's really the reason why this year's been so slow. So I'm going to have a lot of new pots coming out of the kiln the next couple of weeks. So I think I'm going to be trying to get some more frequent videos up for you guys. So let me know if you got any questions on the gear that I've been using, or if you guys have any specific questions about the ceramics, I'll talk about that. So anyway, I hope you guys are doing good. Like I said, I'll hop on video a little more frequently, and hope you guys have a good one. All right, take care.